No, mo ń ṣeré ni o.
We're live. We're live. We're live.
Yes, we are live.
We are live.
Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Good to have everybody on. What's going on? Okay, it's a beautiful Saturday, and it's the 24th day of June 2023. The topic we are discussing today, oh my goodness, this topic is here on purpose. This topic is here because, it's been predestined that we discuss this today. Because it is just ideal that we give ourselves that reminder. Now, let me ask you, do you know what the topic is? You want to guess it? Have you ever given it a thought? Yes, we are discussing everything about retirement today. Retirement. Retirement. When was the last time you sat down and you took like a 5 minute meditation, thinking about the future, thinking about your after now, thinking about what life is gonna be when you are no longer on that paycheck? Now, what are you doing about it? What are your actions towards it? Let me tell you something. We all pray for old age. So inevitably, guess what? Retirement is gonna come. We are praying, Lord, I don't want to get sick. That means you are telling God, I want to get to retirement. Lord, I don't want to die prematurely. That means retirement is coming. So what are you doing? Are you waiting for those numbers? Are you waiting for that? What you've been pre-designed to believe? You want to wait for that 67 years of age? Let's discuss this. And yours truly, I want you to put in all those questions that you might have. We want to make this interactive as possible. Okay? Let's know what your thought is, especially when it comes to when and how one should prepare for retirement. So, I have with me here today amazing ladies. You know them already. And guess what? We are not here because we just want to be taking your time. We've taken it upon ourselves as a mission. It is our mission to educate people, to play our part. Now it is left to you listening to us to tell yourself that you are ready to take that action. That is your part. So, I have with me here Adebola all the way from New York.
Hi, everyone.
All right. And I have Omolara, my neighbor at Texas. Yeah.
Good to be back.
All right. Modupe all the way from California.
Greetings, everybody.
Yeah. And I'm saying hi to you from the boiling state of Arizona. I'm actually boiling. All right. So, not to waste your time quickly, I want to start with Adebola. I want to ask you, why is it even important to critically examine retirement at this time and age?
Okay. Thank you, Muturayo. Hello, everyone, once again, and it's good to be back. We were not here for almost a month, but it's good to be back, and we are hoping that you're going to get value from what we're discussing today. Retirement. I don't think we're leaving anybody out of retirement. Either you have a job right now or you don't. There will be a time that you won't even be able to do anything anymore. So we're talking about what is it going to be for you? What's going to be the story then? What are you going to fall back on? That's a general knowledge about retirement. That there will be a time that I'm no longer working. I'm done. I just need to enjoy the rest of my life, doing whatever you want to do. But a lot of us don't even really, like put plans into place. We don't really look at it, like we just live life. Okay, when it comes to that time, we will cross the bridge, and it shouldn't be like that. So asking about why should we even consider, putting thoughts on retirement, it is very important. I was trying to find out some of the reasons why this should be something that everybody should even think about, or plan ahead of. And some things came up, and I'm going to just share that quickly. Number one is the fact that there is a changing economy. Our economy is not at a standstill. It's not what it was yesterday or years back. Things are changing. At this point in time in this nation or in many nations, there is something called inflation. Prices have gone up. Standard of living is rising. So you can't say it's the same thing that was when you started working at age 20. It's going to be the same when you're old and ready to just settle down. That's one of the reasons why we should actually, critically look into this. Another factor is the fact of the demographic landscape. A lot of people are living longer now compared to before. People are living longer, and the retirement age recently it was increased just a little bit. So it's still about the same, from 65 to 67 or something, at least in this nation. But people are living longer than that, and not everybody gets to plan enough for the years after that time. So have you thought about that? What's going to happen when you are no longer able to work? Okay, there is a greater strain on retirement savings these days. So these are some of the factors why we have to really think about. And now there is sort of a shift towards people becoming more responsible for their retirement funds. Because what we get from maybe employers and everything doesn't cut it. So with all those things, you just have to really think about it. Where are you? The economic fluctuation, inflation, all these things. Where are you? What are you thinking about? What are the plans you have in place? What have you thought about the time you're going to, or you just say, oh, when that time comes, I'm going to cross the bridge. No, don't wait till that time. Okay? And retirement doesn't mean it has to be when you are whatever the default retirement age. You may be planning to retire at early, maybe earlier. Maybe at 40, at 30, it's okay. I'm going to work for 20 years and I'm done. But whatever your plans may be, do you have things in place for that period? So that is why it is critical to examine, retirement and see what the helps you can get, what you can do, things you can put in place, to help you make informed decision about savings, investment, and all other things. So I'm gonna stop here for now because I know the ladies have a lot to, to pour out today, to download. Okay, thank you, Motunrayo.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Adebola, you've heard that, right? Are you going to design your own retirement? Because you have the power. But first and foremost, are you even thinking about it? Now, the next question, I'm going to throw it to Modupe because it is what some of us as, immigrants, a lot of us, because of our traditional setting and all of that, we rely on our children. What do you think, especially when it comes with, the drawback of traditional retirement models? One of them is, relying on our children. Hey, I want mommy. The children will take care of me when it comes to time, right? What do you think parents should be thinking about? And should we consider even designing our own retirement? Over to you, Modupe.
Thank you so much, Motunrayo. Hello, everybody. Guess what? This topic is just right on time. Every single lady here, when this topic came up, just that we do a whole lot of work coming out to talk to you guys, okay? And because we come prepared as well. When this topic came up, every one of us had something to say. We're like, we cannot give our signs. And so it's a big deal. That's what I'm saying. It's a big deal. It's one of those topics that are subject matter people kind of, shove their shoulder away from. They don't even talk about it. They don't plan for it. And that's the reason why we're bringing up this conversation. Adebola had mentioned, and she said it's critical. Guess what? It's just not critical to think about today. We ought to have started thinking about it yesterday. Just that you know how critical this is. And Muturaya, to answer your question when you talk about the drawbacks of traditional retirement models, I tell a lot of people and I say, maybe my generation grew up to understand that I have a responsibility towards my parents. But the kids we have breeding in this age and time, not just here in North America, okay, anywhere in the world, because now I know that our audience is global. Because, hey, of course, we're spending on a global, village, like I like to say. Guess what? The kids we're breeding right now in this age and time, they don't understand that. Okay? What they understand is that they were born into affluence. And so they understand life from a different perspective. Not to say that we having our children as a retirement plan is the way to go. I am not a proponent to that. I strongly believe it is. It is so archaic, and no one should put their retirement plan on that. I was actually looking at this question from a different perspective, though. Even though we're talking about here in North America or anywhere in the global space, anywhere in the world, when we talk about a typical traditional retirement model, what really comes to mind is some of the pension plans that some of the employers have in place. If you come down home to North America, we start looking into some employer-sponsored retirement plans. Those plans that are tax deferred in nature, okay? So there is one place I probably would think maybe most of the African descent will probably want to take their children and say that's their retirement plan. It does not happen even in the Western world, okay? Now, so if I look into that question and I'm looking at what are those traditional retirement models, then that comes to mind my employer-sponsored plans, likes of 401ks, likes of 403bs, likes of TSPs. I'm calling out these accounts and I'm saying these are merely IRS code and they are retirement plans, depending on which of the parastatal you fall into. Do they have drawbacks? Absolutely. It comes with a whole lot of them. And that is the reason why we want to start looking into these things early in the game. Okay? In the interest of time definitely will not permit to start breaking into all of those, Muturaya. But one thing I'm going to leave our audience with is that this is the time, Adebola had said, start thinking about it. I'm saying start thinking about it like yesterday. So you're already late in the game if you've not even started thinking about it. So this is the time you want to, leverage the help of what? A professional. A professional who is going to be able to look into this for you. Because in the interest of time, I probably won't be able to break into certain things. But does all of these traditional retirement models that we have prevalent, do they have drawbacks? Absolutely. Because the likes of my 401ks, my 403bs, my TSPs, depending on the parastatal that I have my employer with, guess what? They're all plugged into the variable market. What happens in the variable market? The variable market is what? Is exposed to volatility. So with the volatility exposure, we want to make sure we do what? We guide against that. How can you, having worked so long for so many years, imagine yourself putting money into what I literally call gambling? Okay? And I have my proofs to say that. You can take me up on that. Okay? Our audience listening to us, if you want to know more, reach out to me and I'll be glad and happy. Any of the ladies here will be glad and happy to walk you through that path. Guess what? We open up this platform because not only are we entrepreneurs, guess what we are again? We understand that there are just two things that can get you out of trouble: financial education and business ownership. Financial education and business ownership. The four of us here, Adebola mentioned that the economy is changing, things are constantly revolving. We understand that, and we stand even in position to ensure that we are well prepared and properly equipped to help any individual that comes across our way. Back to your question, Muturayo. Are there drawbacks? There are drawbacks. I tell our audiences or anyone interested to know, reach out to us and we'll be able to guide you through, because you don't want to put your money in holes. At the end of the day, guess what happens? A whole lot of people in their 65, 67, 68, they run out of retirement so fast, faster than you can imagine. And then they have to still foot their bills. They go back to the labor market, which is not going to be favorable on their path. And that is why we're having this conversation. Our audience, if you forget anything today, 2 major things is going to get you out of trouble: financial education, business ownership.
Business
All
ownership.
ladies on this platform, they are super equipped to guide you through either of this path. Back to you, Muturayo.
Thank you so much. Oh my God. My ladies are on fire. My ladies are on fire. Did you catch that? Business ownership and financial education. Do you have those handy? Reach out. All right. Thank you so much, Modukwe. I love that energy coming up from starting from Adebola to you. And all right, now let me go to Omolara. You know, when it comes to retirement, like Modukwe said, a lot of people just try to, because it is mentally tiring, right? We try to shove it. I'll think about it tomorrow. I will look at it tomorrow, right? Now, let's look at some of the effect that retirement have on our physical and mental well-being, and how can individuals promote a healthy retirement. So, Omolara, that's for you.
All right. Thank you so much, Muturayo. Wow. Well done, ladies. If we say retirement, we know everybody at one point in our life, everybody's going to get retired. Whether you retire by default or you retired by, you just want to retire, right? But everybody's going to get to that stage in life. So, and Debola said it is so critical and it is so crucial. We're all going to get to that stage, whether we like it or not. But the thing is, when you want to retire, when you're reaching that stage of retirement, are you physically, prepared? Because it's not just all about retiring. Are you physically prepared? And also, are you mentally prepared? Because, when you are in the workforce, you are working, you see, you are together with your, colleagues, your co-workers, then they are more or less like your family. I'll put it that way, because when anywhere you're working 8 hours, you're working 10 hours, you're working 12 hours, you all are family. You see each other every blessed day, right? Before you go back to your immediate family back home. But when you retire, it's no longer the same. That mental thing, it's always there. You're going to be thinking about it. Okay, now that I'm either retired or I'm about to retire, how am I going to cope? Physically, am I going to cope? Maybe I'm somebody that works 7 o'clock. I already get up 5 a.m. Is it still going to be the same for me? Right? So is it still going to be the same for me waking up 5 o'clock, or is it going to be different? Definitely it's going to be different. So this can alter our physical and mental status, our mental well-being. So for it not to get too much to us, we need to, connect with people. We need to connect ourselves with people socially. We need to start socializing with people that we know they're going to help us at the long run. Because when you retire, let's say you retire at the age of 65, which is the norm age for retirement age. And then at 65, you don't expect your children to still be with you at that age. I just want to use that age, right? Other ages are there that people are retiring, or people are retiring at the age of 40, at the age of 50. But I want to base my analogy on the 65, the retirement age. So you can't expect your children to still be with you at that age. If you are fortunate to have a spouse, good luck. I mean, thank God, because your physical well-being will determine, you know, your relationship with your spouse will determine on your physical or your mental well-being. And if you are just by yourself, how are you going to cope? And that's the reason why you need to get out. I mean, get out of that comfort zone, that's your home, in order for you not to like, that's the reason why, you know, you go to nursing home, you go to assisted living, you know, when you go there, you see all these people, all these retirees, you see them, and some of them, because they don't have that social life, because they don't have people to care for them, because they don't have people to love them, to nurture them. When they retire, they end up having dementia. Dementia. They end up having so many, you know, so many illness. And that's the reason why their children, they're supposed to be with them, to give them love, because they have given those children love when those children are growing up. But guess what? When they reach that age, those children are no longer there. They probably with their family as well, right? And so those children will no longer be there for them at that age. And so that's the reason why most people are so scared to get to that age, because when they get to that age, they're like, oh, I'm going to be by myself. I don't want to be by myself, even if I have my spouse. I mean, anything can happen. And so you see most people in you know, elderly homes with all this illness, like I said, with all this illness. But Adibin, they have people to socialize with. They have family around them. It will not get to that stage of having dementia and all this kind of illness. And so being retired, I mean, when you want to retire, it is very, very crucial and very vital for you, for anyone that wants to retire, to really do what, to really plan for it. Because it takes a whole lot to really plan for it. You don't want your mental status to decline. And being retired can, I mean, it can lead to that. It can lead to mental declining. It can lead to so many things. It can lead to you not having anything to do. But when you get yourself, I mean, there are a lot of things you can do, right? For it not to get to that stage. You can, I mean, register or enroll yourself in some activity. You can go to, I mean, you can do swimming club. You can engage yourself in swimming club. You can engage yourself in cardiovascular club, and so many clubs. I mean, so many activities that you can do so that your health will not decline, so that your mental status, your mental health will not decline. So I mean, that alone can take so much out of us. So for us, for it not to get to that stage, then we need to like just like I said, we need to put all those things in place. If you want to retire, you're planning to retire, make your, I mean, do your research very well. It's not just about retiring. Do your research and make sure when you do all that, then you have every opportunity, you know, to keep going. And then, like Modupe said, you don't want to like retire and at the end of the day go back to workforce. You know, go back and start working. That is the reason why you have to get yourself prepared very well before any of such or any retire. I mean, before you proceed in wanting to retire. So I will leave it on that right now.
All right. Thank you so much, Omolara. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, people. Yes. The way you handle and plan for your retirement today, starting from now, as in giving it a critical examination, looking at it and, you know, dissecting everything, starting from this moment, dictate how your mental health, your physical health is going to handle it. Thank you so much, Omolara, for that. Hey, guess what? You listening to us now, catching up on the replay. Do you know that you have the capacity? I'm saying it again, loud and clear, to design your own retirement. Yes, you can give yourself that, you know, time mark. This is when I want to retire. You do not have to retire by default. Okay? You can design it and work towards it, right? other things that can keep you mentally, physically okay during retirement, be it by design or by default, is the fact that you get involved with your hobbies. You have time for your hobbies, you have time to travel, you have time to do a lot of things. But the question is, whatever way you're gonna resign, default or design, are you able to sustain your retiring lifestyle after retirement? What you have as planned as of today, is it going to take you that far? That is the question. All right. Adebola, I'm coming back to you, okay? And my question for you is, how has the concept of retirement changed over time? And what factors influence these changes?
All right. Thank you, Motunrayo. Oh my goodness. So let's just dig into it. Like I said before, it's not like, oh, we went to school to study retirement, but because we want to, like, we know this is something that is very important, and it's affecting everybody, people around us. And we want to bring you some facts about this that could help. So Mutwe mentioned that we have to go back and do our research and see how things are. And regarding this particular question, I'm just going to give you some few points how the concept of retirement has changed over the years. It was so quite interesting to even know that retirement wasn't common in the past, which I really didn't have that much idea about. So over the years, it has evolved in a very significant way. And I know people that are well learned, that maybe the older people or people that are been around longer than we are, we also testify to this. So we have the fact that in the past, retirement wasn't something that every people were into, because everybody seems to want to work until they are tired. There was nothing like a retirement age. They just keep working until they are ready to say, okay, I'm done, and that's it. And then you wonder what happens after that time. But later on, the idea of retirement came about in order to help people to make sure that there is something that they can retire early and stop working early instead of working into their old age, and they have something to really take care of them after that time. So we have one of the factors being increased in life expectancy. People, I mentioned it earlier on, people started living longer than before. So retirement became a more extended period, something that has to be considered. You can't just say, oh, this person is retired at 65, they're going to live till 100. So what's going to happen after 65 during those period? So that is one of the things that have affected that. I mean, one of the changes, one of the trends that have changed in retirements, in the concept of retirement over the years. Another factor is the fact that in this nation, there is something we call the Social Security. And there have been a rise in that, in the Social Security. When we talk about the Social Security benefit in America, because we are here, and just to use that as an instance, okay, compared to what was before. There is also the fact that pensions are not what they used to be. There is a decline in pensions. People have to really now be, I mentioned it earlier, that you have to be more individuals have to really are now more responsible for their own retirement plan than just the employer that you work with or the company that you work with, or whoever it is. And that's just the truth. So traditional pension plans have declined. They are no longer popular. There's even a recent stat that says it may even fade out in few years, and we won't have that anymore. So what is going to happen when that happens? Even Social Security may fade out in few years, and that's what it has come to be. Another thing is the fact that there is a change in the labor market, in the work expectation. We have different ways by which people work now. We have different kind of job. People can work from home. They can work remote, working remotely. You have flexible hours. Some people work part-time. And because of this, people may tend to even work longer than the age that we're talking about, the default retirement age. So if somebody is working remotely, they're not stressed, or it's working part-time, even after they leave one job, they might decide to continue to do that. And most of the time when this happens is because they can't even afford to not work because they need to make a living. So these are some of the things that have really changed over the years as far as retirement is concerned. And I mentioned too that the downturn in the economy, inflation, and all that, these all do affect the concept of retirement. Okay, and the ladies have mentioned it. The main thing is the fact that we should have a plan. We should have something that is something tangible, something that is real, something that nobody can take away from us, something that no matter what happens is going to be there. Nothing is going to change it. I know people that plan to retire at a particular age, and because of what happened just last year with the market, everything just went downwards and all that, and it affected retirement accounts, and they have to keep working because they just couldn't afford to retire because of that. And Muduka mentioned the fact that the volatility, the market volatility, which can affect some of the plans that most employers have for their employees. So it's time that we start to take responsibility of our retirement plans and just look beyond just, oh, I have something at my work. It's way beyond that. We can see things have evolved over the years. Different situations affecting this talk or discussing, and a lot is still going to happen. Change is constant. All right, change is constant. So we have to just make sure that we are ready mentally and in every way. Mudupe said financial education and business ownership. Financial education and business ownership. So let's wake up. Let the bulb, let it come on. Let's rekindle our mind and get what we need. Get that education, get a business on, find out from advisors things that you could do. And we are here, we can help. All right. So I'm going to stop there, Muturayo. Thank you.
Right. All right. Thank you so much for that. Excuse me. Something just came up to me to mind when you were talking, right? The question Omolara answered earlier is, being physically, and guess what? At retirement, when you are earning, even when you were more than you were employed, right? Guess what? That physical energy is gonna be there. The mental energy is gonna be there. Thank you so much, Adebola, for addressing that, right? The concept of retirement has really changed. Guess what? Change is constant. It is the only thing that is, it is constant, and it is everywhere. Are you changing with the changes around you? Positive changes. Now, have you think of changing that retirement place? Plan that you had in place? Have you reviewed it? When was the last time you took a look at it? If you haven't, or if you had, even 2 weeks ago, even yesterday, we are challenging you. Now is the time to take a look at it. Look at it. You don't know how to go about it? A phone call away. Because we have that financial literacy, to education, to guide you, to put you through the right thing you need to know, okay, in considering proper planning for your retirement. All right, Modupe, I'm running and coming back to you, okay? This is a question that a lot of people ask, and this is one thing that, try to push them away from even considering taking a critical look at their retirement, okay? So, and my question to you today is, how can individuals financially prepare for retirement? And what are those tools that are available to help them save and invest effectively?
Thank you, Motunraya. I'm loving it, and I love all the vibes I'm getting it. You know what? I don't know what the name of that songwriter was, right? I'm feeling the vibes, whatever that is, right? Hello, audience. I hope you guys are still right there. To your question, Mutsurayo, how can they financially be prepared, right? There's something called proper preparation prevents poor performance. This is how I like to see it. It just does not have to do with your career or anything. It has to do with every facet of our life. Just that you know, as a reminder, retirement is a phase in our life. Whether we like it or not, we will get there. But it all boils down to how prepared are you when it comes knocking and it says, Uncle, Auntie, it's your own retirement. Your retirement might be different from my retirement, but how prepared are you? So, to your question, how can we financially prepare for this? When I hear the word financial, what comes to mind? Money. Muturaya said it. She said, "Oh yeah, when you get there and then you're even still earning and all that." I'm just going to cut to the chase. It's very important that as long as every single individual you come, I mean, maybe we're done with school for those of us that probably went to school, and you probably get active into the labor force, whether you are the employer of labor or you are being employed to work for one. Okay, right from that time start thinking retirement. I didn't say before that because now you're probably still, accountable to your parents and you probably don't even have a dime. And so when money is involved, so now it's you now taking responsibility for that. So that's why I said at that phase and that phase set in time, every single individual, I don't care, maybe you probably finished your own school and you're done at 18. I think you want to start thinking of retirement because there will be a day I will get to that lane, right? Or to that phase set in my life. So we want to be proactive and plan ahead. And then we want to make sure we are very proactive and plan ahead, like I said, even in that phase set. There are so many things to look into. One of the things I would say is make sure you're diversifying. You want to make sure that you get yourself in vehicles that are, when I say vehicles, financial investment vehicles is what I'm referring to. Vehicles that are cash generating such that you are passively earning when you are not even actively involved. I'm going to repeat that. You are passively earning while you're not actively involved. And that would work for you even in that retirement age because you're literally not even lifting a finger. Guess what? But you're still getting return for certain things that you have put in place during that very early age. But take, for instance, for an individual probably finished at 25 and have been actively involved in diversifying their funds, getting into vehicles that are yielding return, right? And not gambling with their money, and not getting into vehicles that are coming with so much high in return. And at the end of the day, it comes down. I mean, those are not certain things I would want to recommend on. Okay. So I would want for individuals to look into things that are safe, that comes with, again, high rate of return. And of course, with very good tax advantage or benefit. Those are vehicles that individuals want to start looking into such that they are able to get into, that phase set that they are passively earning while they are not even actively involved, in a particular investment. So many other investments are out there, don't get me wrong. A whole lot of people get themselves and get them started. Some go into real estate. Some individuals, get into one thing or the other. Again, it falls back to when you're trying to get into certain things, that there is a reason why we have professionals. There is a reason why we have individuals out there who could sit you down and look at your situation and able to do a need analysis and come up with recommendations on what will be perfect for you. Because usually it's not a one size fits all. Okay, what works for your situation might be different from what works for Mr. B's situation. So we will always have to look at things from that perspective, a customized, designed, well looked into, and then we come up with, oh, this will be good for you. If it's good for you for right now, because everything changes in our world, there will be a time for us to reassess and say, what is working right now? What is good out there? Let's see how this can, better, work for you. I'll also say that individuals want to look into certain things that have compounding feature. Guess what Albert Einstein says? He said, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Okay? Those who understand it are able to earn from it.
Yeah.
Those who don't, they pay for it. Okay? So individuals want to be ahead of the game. They want to quickly make sure they understand that at a very early stage, and then they catch up. Don't get me wrong. Some of us probably didn't catch it up early enough. So some of us are playing catch up right now. It's okay. Seek financial help. And like I said again, another thing that has a financial ability that individuals can look into to be able to build certain things for their retirement ages. It's not far-fetched. I'm going to go north, south, east, west, Motunrayo. And I'm going to keep saying financial education and business ownership until I turn blue. Okay? Because that's the only way out. Individuals listening to us are probably going to catch up on this replay later. You will know that the four ladies here are proponents of business ownership. We talk about it in and out because we've seen it all. Show me where I'm able to get myself hooked up to a model that comes up with multiple income streams, if not certain of the models that we are exposed to. And that is why we are in a constant conversation and crusade to make sure that individuals that were once like us before we saw the light can also understand this fact, and they can join the moving train. Don't wait until later and then you can start saying, I know. Oh, what exactly are they talking about? We're a phone call away. We're not strangers. Okay? We're a phone call away. We will be able to guide you through. How can you unlock the multiple income streams? When you have those multiple income streams, guess what? Saving for retirement becomes a no-brainer. You know what I mean? Saving for retirement, and even set for the next 5 years, you have your 3 different, 4, 5 vacations during the year set for the next 10 years for yourself, for your grandchildren. You have, because now you have more than enough, right? Your grandchildren are looking up to, I want to spend time with grandpa and grandma, because you got it figured up in time. Guess what the wealthy are doing? They do those things that the middle class will not do because they understand that. Why don't we think about that and start doing that right now so that we don't have to do those things later in our later years? So I'm going to stop right there, Motunrayo. I hope that was sufficient for your question.
Wow.
Okay, I think our internet is fluctuating.
All right, that was a great one, Modupe. You see me clapping for you, that was a great one. All right,
that was amazing, right? That was amazing. That was amazing. Thank you so much, Modupe, for all of that. Right. When you get yourself plugged into business ownership, when you are financially literate, guess what? And you plug yourself into multiple streams of income, planning for retirement would not drain you mentally, would not get you so, tired even before you think of that retirement, right?
That's true.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you so much, Modupe. So I'm going back to Omolara. Omolara, so as an individual, what do I need to do? Sorry, give me a moment here. What considerations should be made when determining an ideal retirement age? So should I wait till whenever, or should I have started, or should I start right now? So go ahead and talk about that for us. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that. To me, I would say a retirement age is a personal journey. I might decide I want to retire at the age of 40, and you might decide you still want to wait till 65, right? which I believe you are not even going to be up to that before you retire, being a businesswoman, all right? So for you to say retirement age, it's something you have to be planning. It's not something you just have to wait till that age, that retirement age. Because when you wait till that retirement age, guess what's going to happen? You might not have enough for that retirement age, for that retirement purpose. You might not have enough. So it's something we need to start planning right now. And then thank God, I mean, as the world evolves right now, we have a lot of people, retiring at the age of 30, if I must say. I've seen people retiring at the age of 30, 35. I've seen people retiring at the age of 40. So it is a personal journey. So everybody will not retire at the same age. Then like I said, we have to start planning towards it. If you want to retire, venture or planning to retire at the age of 65, you should be preparing right from the age of probably your 35 or 30, planning something towards your future. Because if you are not financially ready for retirement, you're going to mess up yourself. You're just going to mess up yourself because you don't want to go back. We've said it times without number. If you want to retire, you need to be financially balanced. You need to be financially okay if you want to retire. So age, to me, age is just a number. You can retire at any age so long you have what it takes to retire. If you don't have what it takes to retire, then you see yourself still working for people. You see yourself going back, clocking in and clocking out like other people do or other people does. I've seen a lot of people, even at the age of 70, you still see them going to stores, working at the stores, working at restaurants at that age. The age whereby they're supposed to living good. At 70, you should be enjoying your life to the fullest. So you don't want to go back at that age of 70 or 65. You don't want to go back to, find yourself in the workforce, still working for people. So this is where our business comes in. In our business community, which I'm proud of at any time, I'm always proud to say it, that in our business community, we have people that has retired at the age of 40, retired at the age of 45, at the age of 50, 55. And we are seeing this every time. We're seeing this every day. So for them to have said, okay, I want to retire, that means they have prepared. If they are not prepared financially, physically, mentally, and all what we have said earlier, they won't venture into saying they want to retire. So that age of retirement age is something everybody needs to think about. Am I fully ready to do it? Am I fully prepared to do this? So when you are prepared, when you are, let's say 20 years before you retire, the retirement age, you have prepared 20 years down the line, then you'll be okay to retire at any time. And so we have to be financially ready. We need to have a good health. We need to have a good health, and also we need to have some benefits. Do you have benefits when you want to retire? Are your benefits going to be enough for you to retire? And these are all the things we need to consider. We need to put into consideration. And also, we have some, what's it called? There are a lot of things that will impact it, like things like market condition and economic factor. These are all the factors that can, influence or affect our retiring age. So before we retire, we just need to we need to sit down, think about it. Am I fully ready? Then if you are fully ready, then you can retire at any time. Nobody's going to hold you down that, okay, you are retiring at the age of 40. Nobody's going to hold you down that you want to retire at the age of 65. It is a personal journey that everybody has to go through. Whether we like it or not, we're going to go through it. Whether it is early, or probably by that age, that retirement age, we're going to go through it. And then, transitioning from you working to going to going to, I mean, you working and you want to retire, it takes a whole deal. It takes a whole lot. So we need to be fully prepared to do this. So it's not, we are not just coming out here to like, okay, you just have to retire, go retire, go retire. We have to be prepared to retire. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Omolara. Hey, be prepared. That's the Boy Scout motto in Nigeria. Be prepared. How prepared are you for your retirement? How prepared are you? That day is coming. Either you like it or not. You don't want to die by accident. That's your prayer. You don't want to get sick. That's your prayer, right? That means you're going to retire. Guess what? If you are planning to retire by default, if you are planning to do that by default and you are not planning, having extraordinary planning, when it comes to that age 65 or 67, even you will not still be ready to retire. Hey, you want to retire when you are actually tired? That is where the stress comes from, because you're already tired when you retire and you don't have the energy to explore life, to live life to the fullest. I'm challenging you today. I am challenging you today. Sit down, take a moment, tell yourself, I need to do something now. Get a pen and a paper. Write a lot of things down. Start acting. Start making those phone calls. Start asking, doing your research. You need to design your own retirement. How fun will it be that in the next 4 or 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, you tell yourself that, hey, in my early 50s, I am done with working for anybody. I am done actively in the field. I want to continue earning, because earning is fun, especially when it is passive earning, right? You will love it. That is vitamin M. You will love it because you are able to explore and travel and love life and help people. You impact on people's life other than you sitting down and thinking of helping people, but you are handicapped because it is not there to, give out to people. All right, I'm coming back to you, Modupe. Are you ready for me? Let's go for this. My next question for you is, are you ready?
Absolutely.
All right, let's go for it. How can an individual, we've discussed this partially, right? How can individuals overcome the fear and uncertainty about retirement and approach it with, confidence? How can we do this?
Thank you, Mutara. To be honest, this topic is very crucial. I'm just going to keep saying it. It's not so looked into. And I'm guessing we're probably going to look into this some more. Knowing that we come before our audience for a reason. We've seen the light and we're constantly sharing it. We've kind of signed the dotted line to say that is what we're doing, and we're doing it for the long haul. Because again, we are into helping people get to where they need to get to, because we will automatically get to where we want to get to by doing that. Retirement is a facet in anybody's life. And whether we like it or not, it's going to come with some emotions. I believe that was Omolara that talked about that earlier on. So whether we like it or not, it's something you've never experienced. So every single individual, depending on their disposition and depending on their temperament, will take it in different, manner. I mean, so to speak. And so in that instance, my 5 P's will still come to play. That there is need for me to properly prepare for this facet that I have never experienced, that I'm going to welcome in any time soon, so I can prepare for performance when I actually get there. Okay. And so the word fear, which it's normally called, false evidence appearing real, it's a normal phenomenon. But how do we react to it when it comes up on any individual is what matters, right? How are you positioned to properly react to it, right? And so you properly prepared to react to it it's not just going to come on day one. It's going to really happen. You'll be shocked and amazed, ladies, and our audience is listening, that individuals are really, really so like, right? People are even having panic attacks because they're like, oh, retirement is coming. Why is that? Have we asked that question? Debola answered that question in the very first question. It's because when individuals get to that junction, they thought they have enough saved. This is a very, 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 very critical topic. They thought they have enough saved. People, I hope you're catching it. People literally thought they have enough saved for retirement. It's because they've plugged it into vehicles, right? That they probably have no clue or no understanding of how it is designed or how it works. And that's why I'm going to come back again and say you need to seek professional help. And make sure you're seeking the right one. Every single individual here that you're seeing talking to you, we are professionals, okay? Not only do we educate people on basic financial concept, we also show people how they can be plugged on into business models that'll take them to the next level, that will change their narrative and get them to where they need to be. So people get all these panic attacks because they probably planned. Don't get me wrong. They probably planned, Muturayo. They did, but they just did not get it in the proper vehicle. They get there and they get the shock of their life. They find out that they don't even have enough to be able to take them to the next level. Would you blame them? They don't want to go homeless. They don't want to go begging. And so they probably will go and take any available job that is, you know, for them to just keep body, soul together and still enable them pay their bills. So when we start talking about this from the very onset right now, for those who probably have gone, they're like almost in their 50s and like, you know what, I'm not sure, my house is not in order. We came because of you. For those in their 30s and their 20s, we are saying you want to start right now. Seek professional help. Design how you want that to be. And how do you get through it? Because so that you don't get like, oh my gosh, all ruffled and all that. Get into vehicles that are safe, comes with high rates of return and has tax advantages. As a tax benefit advantage. You probably don't know it because you're not trained to know it. That's why you need a professional who has mastered his or her craft. Every four individuals here have mastered their craft, and they can help in that line as well. If it comes to business ownership, they can also help in that line as well. So how can you overcome this fear? You have to overcome fear by faith. That's the only thing, my dear sister. Everybody's going to have that feeling. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. But when I start planning ahead and I said, when I get to retirement at this age, I set the timeline. I want to make sure I have this standard of living for every year. And then you put something in place such that you have that amount and you're not seeking to say, oh, maybe my children will take care of me. They'll be able to absorb this cost. You know what I mean? At that age, you want to put certain things in place. Long-term care, because again, you never can tell. Things come to limelight. That is you being proactive. Get those things in place. Seek help. So that when you have that, it takes off that, you know, that fear and that unnecessary anxiety off your chest. Organize and put your finances in order, like I said. You know, wind down gently. You're not just going to rush into retirement. Those are the things that will end up making you very confident about the subject matter. Eat well. Start exercising. The home is going to be an empty nest. So for those who have spouses, make sure you befriend your spouses ahead of time. Not when the kids are all gone and you allow like, okay, you start looking at yourself like strangers. Right? Develop, hobby or whatever. I believe that was Malara that mentioned that. Exercise. Put your body, soul, and mind together. If your social activity is certain things, I don't know, maybe you have a particular organization or club that you go to here and there, you know, just make sure you're doing something. Make a list for yourself. For those of us, you know, try and sharpen your faith. Those are the things you could do to help overcome this. We can go north, south, east, and west, my dear sister. Money is that crucial factor. Okay? People will say, oh, yeah, you know, maybe it's not crucial. I don't want to talk about it. I was not trained to talk about it. You need that for transaction, my sister. You need it for transaction, my brother. You are not being unnecessarily lustful towards it, but you need it to make sure things are in place. And so when you start early in the game, you'll be able to conquer that word fear. And it's my wish and my desire for everybody listening to us, even for us as well, that, you know what, we get things in order in a early state. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Did you hear that, people? Did you hear that? Listen and listen again. I know very well that we are going beyond, our regular time. It's because this topic is so crucial. This topic is so important. This topic is meant for you. After watching us live, I encourage you to watch it all over again. Listen and listen and take immediate massive action. That's what I need you to do. You need to act now. If you don't, nobody will do it for you. And by the time you get to that retirement, stage, you will like, oh, I know. We don't want that I know to come up. And that is why we are visiting this with you. Okay? Reach out. Let's see how we can help you. Yes, quickly, we're going to run through this remaining few questions. We know very well that there may be a comeback for this topic because it is very important. And if you think you have a question that, if you have a question there that we are yet to address, okay, put it in the comment section, or rather still, reach out to any of us and we'll get back to you. Okay, Omolara, I'm back with you, and I want to ask you, okay, that how does retirement impact on a person's sense of purpose and identity? Can it really impact on that?
You're muted, Omolara.
You are still muted.
Am I okay now? Can you hear me better?
You're good.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. So thank you for that question. Retirement, this is a broad question that we have tonight, right? Topic we have tonight. So definitely it's going to impact sense of what's the question again? Sense of purpose and identity, because the reason being that somebody that has a job before, right, and then suddenly the person retired, right? So all those things that person was doing before is no longer there. So the retiree will see it as a loss of role, because that role that person is attached to before is no longer there. And so what are you going to do as a retiree to keep yourself going? Being in the workforce before, right? Maybe you work for 40 years, you work for 50 years, whatever years you have worked in the past, and then you not having that job anymore. You're not getting up the certain time you're supposed to get up, right? Like the normal routine is no longer there. How are you going to, how can you excel after those times that you have worked? So it's definitely going to impact, because one of the primary retirement influence and its loss of role and status, which I just mentioned. Then another thing I felt it's going to affect is the shifting social connection, because you are being connected with your employer, you are being connected before with your colleagues at work. Those things are no longer there. It's definitely going to affect you. We've said it earlier. It's going to affect your mental status. It's going to affect everything about you, because you are used to that job. Your life, your being, your everything is in that job. So for you now retired, your sense of purpose and identity is being affected. So for it not to affect you, I like what Modupe said, if you have a partner, before you retire, start, you better glue to your partner. Because if you are not glued to your partner, it's just going to be by yourself. If you are not, in good terms with your partner, it's going to affect you. The partner you are not in good terms with before you retire, is it the same partner you want to go meet after you retire? It's not going to be the same. So the status is being altered because all your life is in those work that you have been doing in the past. And since you are not able, to do those things, then, seek help around. Do some social activities. We have said it times without number. Then that is when you see yourself, that is when you can thrive even at that age. If you retire early, good luck. If you retire at the retirement age, then you need to do a lot. You need to find yourself, socializing with people. Your family is the time you need to get together with your family. This is the time you need to get together with your friends, to keep you going, because it's so scary to retire. Like, I have a friend. This is a good example. I have a
30
friend.
seconds more.
Oh, okay. I'm just going to be brief about it. Who just retired last year. And so by the time she retired, she said, oh, okay, if I retire, she already have almost 100 lists on her plate that, okay, if I retire, I'm going to go here, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Recently, we saw each other and she said, guess what, girl? I just marked 10 out of my list that I've achieved. I'm like, oh, you're doing great. So it's something, above all, you need to get prepared for it. All right?
Right. Thank you so much. Retirement is fun when you have proper planning in place. But when you are deferring your planning, I don't know. I can't say anything. All right. Adebola, you're gonna take the last chapter of this episode. I want to ask you, what advice would you give to someone about retirement?
All right, one moment. Sorry, my internet was. All right, so what advice would I give somebody about retirement? First of all, let me just quickly, just what is retirement? What do we even understand? Is it just, oh, I stopped working? Does that mean I've retired? Is that retirement? Really, it's not, because you can stop working with your employer, but you're still actively, doing something. All right. So it's looking at what is retirement, and I'm just going to read this out. Say, retirement is the point in time when the person chooses to stop working and transition to a new phase of life. It is a period where individuals typically have more free time to pursue hobbies, travel, and spend time with family and friends. Retirement often requires careful planning to ensure financial stability and to make the most of the new fulfilling and enjoyable time, but it may also come with some challenges.
All right, since the internet is
Exactly.
all right, I will take it up from there. Thank you so much. Yes, it is very interesting, but still very challenging, right? Yes, we need to prepare. And my advice to you will be that, okay, we just need to put things in the right perspective. Okay, we need to put things in the right perspective. Guess what? You need to give yourself that financial security. You need to think about your health and your well-being. It is a time for you to pursue hobbies, okay, and be involved in activities. It is, thinking about it, give you the opportunity to build a legacy for yourself and for your family. But all this can only come to play when you take the needed action. And once again, I want to, emphasize the fact that we are here, okay? We are here to Answer your questions. Answer those questions to guide you through. Remember, and remember again, 2 ways to effectively get you to a purposeful retirement is business ownership and financial education. Proper financial education. All right. And on this note, we want to bring this episode to an amazing ending. Thank you so much, ladies, for sharing from the heart. I love that. I love it. I appreciate it a lot. I'm going to go back and watch it again myself. You watching this, watching the replay or live, share with people that you know. Share with people around you. Thank you so much. And we say bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.